Thanks for staying with us. This is Newsline, and we're talking about this coming Wednesday's big speech by the Chief Executive, Donald Tsang. I have with me Lau Kong-wah from the DB Party and Albert Ho from the Democratic Party. Now, Lau Kong-wah, just before the break, Albert Ho he mentioned some very wide issues. I don't know whether they're doable. I'm going to ask you because you you two are opposing political parties. You're the Democratic Party. You're the pro-establishment party.
That's label. That's the label.
That's the label. I don't know whether you like the label, but that's the label you have.
But we share some of the points.
Of course you do.
I just mentioned, Albert mentioned 2 points. One is on the land policy.
Well, Albert is saying we should go after the rich tycoons.
No. 2 points, okay? Let me go to first point. The first point is supply of the land. I think the government should adopt a long-term strategy to tell the public what sort of a supply of land in the future, in the 10 years or 20 years, right?
But you're part of that government. You're in the Executive Council.
Yes.
You're one of the Chief Executive's top advisors. Why isn't it being done? Why are you not pushing for it?
Oh, you can wait for the policy address.
Do you know what's
maybe
in it?
Maybe
You're in the Executive
some new
Council?
idea, I don't know, but you can wait, right? The second point I share with Albert is the poor and the rich gap, right? We think that most of the public in this community want the tycoon should do something about it. The progressive tax system.
Taxes should go higher, according to Albert. Do you agree with that?
Can be adopted, right? But on the other hand, in the meantime, should there be any funding for the donation from the tycoon, right, to match with some fund from the government, so that some of the sectors or targets can be benefit? This is very usual in the Western societies.
You mean donations from the tycoons to help the disadvantaged?
Yes, right. Because there may be some net, right, social net in the society, but outside the net there may be some disadvantages. They want to have some help from the society.
Well, you were going to say something. You don't agree with that?
As a public policy, we can always encourage charitable donations, but we can't expect our society, especially the poor sector, to be dependent on donation.
That's
because
what I
that
was
is entirely, something depending on the voluntary or the voluntariness of the rich people. They may change their mind, they may choose not to donate at a certain time. Then the poor will be left totally helpless.
But why not we encourage the rich to help the poor?
No problem with that.
Right?
No problem with that.
Right? Why not encourage
but
it?
you couldn't be dependent on that, isn't it?
It's not dependent, right?
How
public funding should be the focal point, right? But apart from that, if there are some donation from the tycoon to help the poor, why are you not accepting it?
I would rather tax on them instead of asking them.
He would rather tax the tycoon. Would you
tax
rather?
And donation should go.
But do you agree
hand.
taxes should go higher?
Right, progressive one.
We have got 16
Not the higher one, right? But the progressive one.
But is it right that somebody who earns $100 million a year in income pays the same 15% as somebody who earns $700,000? Is that right?
Actually, it is the present system now.
That's right, but is
for the
that
salary
fair?
tax?
Is that
but
fair
what
enough?
Albert and has mentioned is I think is the in other taxes, right?
So you agree with progressive tax?
Now, Hong Kong can easily achieve that purpose by abolishing the standard tax rate.
Sure.
Now, if you abolish the standard tax rate, that means that the highest income earner would have to pay at a high level of tax rate, which is about 22%. It's not high, but compared with many other countries. So I think it can be
But
smaller.
you've got the business sector who will fight against it. The Chamber of Commerce issued a statement a few weeks ago that even the business tax should go down from 16.5% to 15%. Have you advised Donald Tsang to have a progressive tax?
Not yet, because it is the policy area of John Tsang. So next, after the policy address, we hope that we can raise this kind of requirement.
Do you agree with Lau Kong-wah that your two political parties agree on many things?
no problem that we can agree on certain policies, but the crucial question is whether or not we can join hands at crucial time to say no to the budget and to say no to the policy.
Has he done that?
Well, ask him. I have no hesitation if it is necessary to unite our efforts.
Can you join hands with
Albert always say no, but for DAB, sometimes say yes, sometimes say no. Depends on what sort of
but
issue.
At crucial time, we have to say no.
You always say no.
She always say no.
For instance,
I can't follow her.
Oh, no.
All right?
Just look at the record. We negotiate. We're good negotiators. Okay, you can negotiate, but if you don't have the trump card of saying no on the table, then the government would have no interest.
But many people do say that you always say no. You're the no party.
No, you look at the record. It's not always. There's certain percentage. Of our saying yes to proposals after negotiation when we get some.
In fact, it's happening in America. The Republican Party is always opposing everything that Obama does.
That is the starting point.
But that's also part of democracy.
That is the starting point for negotiation where pursue the government, pursue for certain trade-off from the government. But at least, if not a total, acceptance of our demands. At least they have to give it something.
In reality, in the electrical, actually we have some certain kind of differences, right, between two parties. But most of the issue, especially the livelihood issue, we go hand in hand.
You do agree with each other.
Yes.
Well, the two issues that are the livelihood issues are the poverty issue in Hong Kong, widening rich-poor gap, high property prices. You as an executive councillor and a legislative councillor and the vice chairman of one of the biggest political parties in Hong Kong, what blame do you accept that we have a situation in Hong Kong now where property prices are so high that nobody can afford to buy a flat, and there are over 1.3 million poor people in Hong Kong. Are you to blame in any way for not doing something about it?
There may be some, I think it's not so good decision. I can't say it is wrong one, but in the past few years, we can see the shortage of supply of land. So
these are bad decisions by the government.
That is the main reason.
Are you saying bad decisions by the government?
Soaring up the price
bad decisions by the government?
In the property market.
Bad decisions by the government?
I think we should have a new policy.
You're
right?
part of that government.
We should have the new strategy.
But you're part of that government. You're in the executive council.
In 5 years before, I'm not in the EXCO. But 5 years before, we stopped the whole HOS, right?
Right.
And also, the shortage of land is a problem. So we should realize this problem, and then we should
flood the market with more land.
Right.
Well, Albert Ho, do you accept any blame? You're the chairman of the Democratic Party, also one of the biggest political parties in Hong Kong. You've got a lot of members in the Legislative Council. How did we get into this mess? How did Hong Kong, supposedly a very wealthy society, get into this mess where we've got 1.3 million poor people, where majority of people cannot afford to buy homes anymore? We're now talking about handouts to make people make ends meet. We're now talking about subsidized housing for people so that they can put a roof over their heads. That's a big mess. How did we get into that?
I think we have a structural problem. I started by saying that if we have a democratically accountable system where, under which the government is democratically elected by the people, at least, we can hold somebody accountable.
So you accept no blame for this?
Well, I think all of us have to suffer. The question is whether or not those who have the platform to speak out have discharged the duty. I think we have at least made our best endeavor, to say no to many
that's why you're the no party.
The inappropriate policies. So that's why, if we were to blame, maybe we are not, sounding loud enough, to say no.
Okay.
But in fact, basically, if the system is not democratic, then
the crux of the matter you're saying is once we have a democratic system, everything will be fixed. You agree with that?
I think they're going in a wrong way because it seems that he put everything in democracy. But you look at democratic government in UK, US, you can find still we have the rich and poor gap, right? The property market is still going up. So it's the same. We should stick to the problem to solve the problem.
What do you suggest? If it's not democracy, as Albert Ho says,
I'm
an
not
accountable
opposing,
system.
sorry, I'm not opposing democracy. We are urging for democracy. But what Albert has just commented is everything depends on democracy. That means democracy can solve every problem.
No.
No, that's not the way.
The benefit of an open democratic system is to allow the people, through a genuine democratic election, to choose their leader who can, on behalf of the people, find a solution to the problem. Now, that may be an ongoing search with open-mindedness for an appropriate solutions. There is no guarantee that every solution is
can Albert
perfect, but at least the people are making the choice.
But Albert can tell me which democratic leader can solve every problem.
But at least they
Which one?
Well, at least they have a much better environment than ours by listening to the people. By listening to people and let the people make the choice. Now that is most important, isn't it?
The leaders in mainland China, they are not coming from democratic, right? Democracy.
No. You think
but
very well?
they are listening to the people.
Really?
They are listening to the people. They have a very high.
I have thousands of miles
approving rate.
I don't think the two of you are actually going to agree. So I'm going to have to end the show right here. I'm going to have to end it. Thank you very much for watching. See you next week. Good evening.